Gonna wait for a few more, let everyone come in. But thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you enjoyed your meal, your lunch. We could, I don't know if they'll hear us in the kitchen, but if you're on your way out, if you're able to say thank you, you can by all means. Yeah, me again. And I just want to want to say thank you for being here and being a part of this. I want to welcome some very special guests that we've invited here to the occasion. Starting with some former ministers, Lindsay McKay is here, and also Darren Hickling couldn't be here, but Anita and Emily are here, and they have some words on his behalf, which they'll share. Rachel's not here anymore. She was here, yes, and she's coming back. She'll be here as well. So I'll say Rachel, and then Rachel's here as well. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you for being here. Representatives from our parent churches, we have Martin and Ann Stewart. Martin is the executive officer of Alpine Presbytery, and Ann, a recent moderator. She was the moderator at the time when I was ordained here, although they were both overseas. I won't hold that against them. Nevertheless, they are key people for us, and for me especially. Catherine and Vivian Walters are here. Catherine is there they are. Catherine is Synod Superintendent for the Methodist Church, and from our Synod here, and she was here at my ordination. She's really the reason that I ended up here, to be honest. She was part of another thing that I did that didn't end up going the way we expected it to, and she said, I know the perfect place for you, and one thing led to another, and here I am, and here you are. Thank you for being here, and Viv as well. Pastor Brent, I asked you, I'm going to mess it up again anyway. Liebezeit? Brent Liebezeit is here from Innisbrook, come down from Nelson this morning. He's part of the Christian Churches New Zealand, formerly AKA the Churches of Christ, which was when we formed what they were called. And he's here with us today. Thank you on behalf of them. We also have Phyllis Harris. Phil is the current moderator of the Alpine Presbytery and minister at Lincoln Union Church. So she's familiar with how the union things go. She's there at the back. Hey, Phil. The Right Reverend Hamish Galloway, our moderator for the Presbyterian Church of Aotearoa, Zealand, good friend of mine, a mentor of mine, is also here as well. Thank you for joining us. Thank you all for being a part of this and being partners in our church's journey. We also have some representatives from some of our mission partners that we've teamed up with and support over the years. We here at the church have 4 dedicated mission agencies that we partner with. Christian World Service, the Bible Society, Leprosy Mission, and here locally, the Hospital Chaplains. We are blessed to have some representation from most of these groups. I don't see Sandra Wright Taylor. I didn't see her come. She was supposed to be here on behalf of the chaplains, but something may have happened. It is that season, isn't it? But we do have Murray Overton, and on your own today? Yes, on your own today. And he is the National Director of Christian World Service, and he's here joining us today. It's good to have you here, Murray. And we also have some ministry friends with us. Solate, but Moenga's not here. Yes, he's in Auckland. He sends his apologies. We will accept that. That's okay. Thank you for being here with us today. And then apologies from Mark Gibson and Sheena Dixon that couldn't make it today either. So I do also have some written greetings from former ministers and associates with us, Norman Brooks and Chris and Mary Ambrose, as well as they've sent things through which I will read shortly, as well as former members who couldn't be here to say hi. Tracy Gord and Roger Pugh wanted to send in something special to say hi. So to all of you, thank you for being part of our special celebration. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sending in letters for those of you that couldn't be here. And we're able to stream this, so this can be watched again. And for those who aren't able to join us, can be here. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot you gave me those. Yeah, good. Got a couple other ones. Who else did I miss? Got those two. Ron and Yvonne Lang in Napier. and the Lows, and Mavis Elms also. So I'll read those in a bit. That's good. And Iona sent a message. They're coming in like something. Okay. Yeah. I'll get to all those. We'll read all those, and we'll hear from everybody and get a chance to sort of walk down memory lane. Yeah. So with that, I just want to open up the floor. First, I'll invite our parent church leaders that are here, representatives. So how about we do this? How about you come up together? Catherine, Brent, Phil, Martin, Ann, if you want to come stand. Hamish, come stand. You can tell I'm Presbyterian because there's like twice as many. Oh, Tara Totori, the General Secretary, also sent her apologies. She couldn't be here, so I tried. Yeah, here, I'll hand over to you guys.
Cool. I'm feeling really outnumbered. I don't know how you feel, Brent.
Yeah, I think you can hold your own. You'll be right.
Do you think? All right, I'll give it a crack.
We'll give it a crack.
Give it a crack, Nigel.
Kia ora koutou, everybody. I'm Phil Harris, and I'm the current moderator of Alpine Presbytery. And it's a delight to be here today, and I bring with me Presbytery's blessing of you as a people in this space. Also, being a minister of a union church, I understand the complexities and the benefits and the blessings that go with being in a union church. And there's something quite special about being able to meet together across denominations. And God, in one of the Psalms, which escapes me right now, that he commands a blessing when we meet together in unity. So I just pray that blessing on you all today.
Hi everybody, my name's Brent Lieberzeit, and I'm the president of the Churches of Christ, which is now, the name was changed a few years ago to Christian Churches New Zealand, and it's a privilege to be a partner with Linwood Ave as well. My background is, I've been in the one church for 58 years and became youth pastor and then became senior pastor of that, and now movement leader of our Churches of Christ movement. And it's just a privilege to be here this morning, and I do bring greetings on behalf of our Churches of Christ National Leadership Team, and great to, we always hear a lot about Linwood because, Lindsay and Lorraine are very great advocates for the church here, and Lindsay, you probably say the same. How many years have you been in the Linwood? Yeah, but pretty much you were born here.
I look very young.
Yeah, you do, Lindsay. But it is a privilege to be here, and thank you very much. And it was a great lunch too. Really nice. Thank you.
Yes. I think most of you know who I am. I'm Catherine Maltus, Synod Superintendent for the Methodist Church. Lindsay, thank you for the word that you shared this morning, but you stole everything that I was going to say around the list of community engagement, because in fact I think that this parish punches way above its weight in the way it expresses its faith in the community. So I really want to commend the way in which you do that. And one of the things the thing that went through my head this morning, Lindsay, and if you don't know, if you weren't here, then get a copy of his sermon. It saves me. It's online. It's on already. It's already online. Just saying. Please make sure you give reference to Lindsay if you're quoting from him. But one of the things that it keeps on that went through my head was, it's a movement, that sharing the peace and bringing God's kingdom into a place is a movement, and it's kind of that what's next. And you guys are amazing at doing what's next and being courageous in enveloping that. And one of the blessings is that as partnership and denominational partnership, is we all get a sense of that pride and ownership. So I want to say congratulations, well done. I'm excited about your future in this place. God bless. Do I steal any words?
No. Hamish Galloway, moderator of the Presbyterian Church. It's a lovely pleasure to be here today and to bring you greetings on behalf of the Presbyterian Church of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and how much we value relationships with our partners. And I've lived in Christchurch most of my life. I'm very aware of this church and just have watched over the years the tremendous community engagement and the outreach, which I think is so impressive. Delighted when Jonathan was called to be here and continue to follow Jonathan's ministry. And so I think you're a shining light in the city, but also for this coming together of denominations. Well done on 50 years, which have been impressive. God bless you.
Martin told me on Friday, oh, Phil's going to be there. She can say things. And I was like, I'm still going to call you up. Make you stand up there. Anyway, thank you for that. I forgot a couple of things. I forgot, I should say a welcome to Dorothy Swain, who's our Trust Community Coordinator and deserves a lot of credit for a lot of this community work that they've been speaking about runs through the Trust, and she's had a lot to do with that. And also, a special welcome to Megan, and is Barry still, Barry's not here, Barry's to go? Let's go. Well, Megan Waddington from Presbyterian Support in our down the road from here. You know, she's as well. I met with her, and I thought, I'm going to invite you because you're not one of our like direct partnerships, but we are in the same neighborhood, and we're doing the same stuff. And I know since Barry took over at Presbyterian Support, he's been really intentional about building back the relationship between churches and Presbyterian Support. So I wanted to have them both here for today, and thank you for being here as well. You can say something later if you want to. All right. Next, let's have Lindsay. Lindsay has some stuff to walk down memory lane with us. Yeah. McKay. Yes. What did I say?
Different name.
Did I say something?
You said Lindsay.
Lindsay.
McKay.
McKay. Yes. Yeah.
I'll
Right.
just take this over.
Take us over here. Yeah. You want to move this? There you go. That'll work.
How's that? Can you hear me? Okay. Most people can't hear me, so it's quite a good thing. I'm Lindsay McKay. I was ministry here from 1992 to 2000, and I must say our whole thing was to look out into our community. That was the whole emphasis. That was the thing when I was called here that I loved about this community, was that they had their eyes looking out into Linwood community and what they could do. So that's why I came in the first place. And we did some exciting things. They did, not me, they did. And we started off... we started off with we had family camps, for instance, and they were rather exciting things. And we did, at one camp, we had to fill in a Gregoric delineator style of how our personality was. And that was done by Mavis, our Girls Brigade leader. She took us out to Horata to an old house and had this lovely thing, and we had to fill these in, and then we ended up with two groups. One group was very outgoing and the other was very how you do things right. And we looked at how we'd go on a journey, and it was very different for one group to the other. Then we went from there. We had a very large children's ministry. We had a children's ministry within the church with Marjorie leading the Sunday school. There was Mavis leading the Girls Brigade, Boys Brigade we had. These were things, going on all the time within the church. But then we used to run Sunday holiday programs for all the people. We had quite a large group of holiday followers for some years anyway. And then one time we went out to Rana Park, and we spent most of our time at the end of it to get on the bus chasing this little girl who was determined she was going to stay at the camp with all the animals rather than catch the bus. So that was one of our exciting journeys. Then we opened it up to the schools. we wanted to share our faith with the schools, and we investigated Bromley and Linwood Avenue. And we first of all started off with a week we gave aside, and we set up experiential programs for an hour for each class. And they came over here and went all around the building doing the program. First of all, it was Christmas. They had to dress up, be whatever it was, and everything was action. And then the second part was the next year we did Easter, and that was even more enjoyable and more noisy because they all had to shout crucify, and they had to hammer nails into the cross. And, it was all excitement for them. And as they went out, we gave them a little book, Sights and Sounds of Easter. And in the book, we had all sorts of puzzles and things that they could take home to do. So we had most of the lower classes anyway from both of those schools came. Took a week for each time we did these things. So that was really quite exciting, wasn't it? And we can only do these things because we had the people like Marjorie and Jan Harding and a whole lot of other people who are really versed in working with children. So that was really good. But then we needed to do more things out in the community, and so we set up the Crossways Corner Trust. First of all, to employ people like a social worker and a youth worker to work with the people in the community. And so that was the first sort of thing we set up to do. But it also helped us set up our Wednesday lunches, our programs like crafts and line dancing. I learned to line dance, but I like to do things with my hand as well, so didn't stay with that. And all the different programs came out of that. And of course that has evolved more and more as time's got on, and there's more need for people in poverty in our community. And one of the things that one of the craft ladies did for me was to make my stole, and I like a stole that is versed and made in New Zealand things, because my faith's a New Zealand faith. And so, Margaret, you can stand up wherever you are. She probably won't. Margaret made this, and everywhere I go, everybody admires this wonderful thing. It's got back and front. She's done that beautiful thing for me, which I've had for many years. And when I was taking a service in St Martin's just recently, one of the ladies who's been there for many years, she comes up and she said, I always loved that stole. So, it's all part of that. We, because of the kind of area we live in, we looked at addressing poverty, and we did a poverty workshop for people in the church, communities and that with Christchurch. And we set up a stakes and ladders poverty thing. You can take one if you want, so that people could remind them of what poverty is. It's just not one person's problems, it's ours as well. And so we had this poverty workshop, so that's just a little thing they took home on that particular occasion. And one of the big things we did was we administered a program called Prime Time, and this was for 15 to 25-year-old single girls with their babies and children. It was a at-risk program because these girls were often in drugs, alcohol, mental illness, you name it. They came with a whole baggage of stuff. And we had a house out at Aranui, which we used Monday to Friday. They had the program 9 to 1. It's a months-long program for these girls to learn how to, a life skills thing. They came with their babies so we could see how they interact with their babies. We had a good leader, and we had somebody who looked after the children as well. And that was Prime Time. So we ran for 10 years. Our initial thing was to get the government to realise we have a troubled youth. We have these young girls having these babies in all sorts of circumstances, and they need help. And so we had people from Parliament coming down to see our program, thought it was wonderful, but of course it comes down to the do-re-mi. They're not putting money into teenagers. And so it went on, and then one of the teachers from the Linwood High School came along and learned what we were doing, and somebody from the Catholic Social Service learned what we were doing. So when we finally couldn't find a place to put this place, they took on board the Linwood program, still going, and so is a Catholic program. But that's the prime time. It was a very important program, and we got the university to do a research on it, evaluation of a course for young single parents. So that was that, and we were also in our Presbyterian magazine too. So that's that. And the last thing we did was, one or two of us anyway, it was called It's Great to Be Here, because even in the church, people used to say to me, Linwood, fancy being a minister in Linwood. Oh, terrible, looked down at me, I thought nothing wrong here. And then I got on with the resource people who just live up the road there, you'll see the resource people, and we set up a program called It's Great to Live Here, and we involve people in the community showing what they do and how they do it. Just 1 week out at Eastgate there, and it's still been going for a while, but it's sort of gradually wound down, I gather. But, we wanted people to feel pride in Linwood. And, it's really quite a way of doing that. So that's some of the things that we did going out. There were a lot of things we did in, but these are the things that are out. So I'll just leave these. You might like to have a look at them afterwards anyway. But thank you. And I do think your building is just wonderful now. It was cold and miserable when I was here. And it's just beautiful and warm and light and welcoming. It's wonderful work.
Thank you so much.
Right.
It's fantastic stuff. I'm reminded, as you're speaking, Lindsay, of, the old adage, I stand on the shoulders of giants that came before me. And that stuff, that's amazing to hear. A lot of that stuff of our heritage and our history here is really cool. Speaking of the building, I should shout out to the Methodist churches. Poured in so much money and invested so much into this refurbishing our partnership with the Methodist. Yeah, it's been fantastic. Thank you. Okay, Emily. Emily's going to say some things on behalf of her father, Darren, who was the minister before me.
Dad's not able to be here today because he's at Rangiora and Wood End Parish. Tēnā koutou katoa. Thank you for the invitation to be part of the celebration of 50 years being a union church. I'm pleased that Anita and Emily, who kindly offered to read this on my behalf without having her arm twisted, could join you. It's an accomplishment to get to 50 years of union, together with the uniqueness of being in union and partnership with 3 denominations. A question which is asked, as part of the institution of the church, in mission, or more precisely, what is our mission, our ministry in this community and beyond? How does our faith interact with, be challenged by, and practiced here? I think of the mission which has and does move out from here, the work of the trust, turning a house into office space for mana aki and their care of children in school settings. The costs which kept increasing, and the $50,000 donation from a welcomed but unexpected source. The folks from Port Hills Uniting Parish. The block of land once growing vegetables, and some weeds that became a space for 5 houses for those who have faced life struggles and challenges when it comes to housing, and how all 3 partners agreed to the housing development, a major miracle, and proving what can be achieved when churches/denominations work together. Also, the vision of the Christchurch Methodist mission to purchase with little finance to play with, the homes used originally for those who were having earthquake repairs done, and finally the refurbishment of the church and the amazing position of not having to move out and hire somewhere to meet, but simply move around the building as required. Over the period of history that the church has stood here, and more importantly, those who make up her existence, it would be interesting to consider how many lives have been touched, changed, transformed, how many hours of service, of care, of compassion, hundreds, thousands of hours. I think it's important to acknowledge that the church today would not be here without the founders and those who have gone before us, for the mission that has been, for the mission that is present, and for the mission to come. We can be grateful to God.
Amen to that. Right. How about, I guess I can open the floor now. Our missional partners. Murray, did you have something to say? I have something to read on behalf of Bible Society, which I could, but you're here, so you can go first if you like.
Kei te mihi nui kia koutou. It's a real pleasure to be here today and be as tall as I am. But it's a real pleasure to be here today on behalf of Christian World Service. And really, I'd just like to say, adding to what other people have said already, a very, very warm and hearty congratulations on your 50 years. And in actual fact, your church and Christian World Service are a bit of a mirror of each other. Christian World Service was formed 75 plus years ago and came out of a movement, an ecumenical movement by the Anglican, Presbyterian, Methodist, Church of Christ, Quaker organisations. And it's a real testament to people working together so that other people's lives can be better. And we truly appreciate the fact that you've chosen us as one of your missional partners, and we really, really appreciate and value your long-term support and engagement with Christian World Service. And a classic example of that was yesterday with Lorraine and Lindsay with the art sale. What an amazing event it was, and what an amazing gift of generosity, both in terms of time and talent and engagement. And we truly appreciate that. And really, Christian World Service stands as a bit of a beacon in some ways of ecumenism and ways that churches can work together to make a difference. So thank you so much for the invitation along today, Jonathan. Thank you for having me in your lovely church building. It's got a wonderful sense of community and peace in here. You've done a lot of work over a long time, being a very important part of the community that you're in. So it's a pleasure to be here this morning, and thank you for your support of Christian World Service. We see ourselves as your organisation, so I'm always happy to come and chat or talk about what we're doing, the work we're doing with our overseas partners, the work we do in emergency response. The prayers for others this morning mentioned Ukraine. That's one of the appeals we have going at the moment. We have Operation Refugee running, so there's lots of ways to engage, and we're always very, very happy to talk to you. So thank you so much for having us along, and congratulations.
Yeah, I'll just invite Megan up. As I was saying before, we recently connected, and I thought it'd be great to have you along, and perhaps a partnership to brew.
I also am tall, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Sorry, I wasn't actually planning on saying anything, but I've just had a text from my husband to say that, can you come home soon? The meet that I'm having for a very early Christmas with my family from the UK. We're having Christmas today, and we haven't seen our family for 2.5 years. So I've been asked, can you come home soon? Because the meet's going to be overdone. So I'm really sorry I actually have to go because of that. But I've been with Presbyterian Support for just over 5 years now, and if ever there was a job that the Lord has blessed me with, it is this one. I get to travel around and meet people of a like mind and a similar faith, go and be part of parish services, meet the people in the community, build relationships with schools, and tell people about our services, like the Methodist Mission, born from the church 114 years ago it was now, and still doing the same thing. We've got the same values, the same mission as we had back then. So just helping people, being social services for people in need. We are a charity, so all our services are free to people, and I just really love telling people about what we do, because it really is heartwarming hearing those stories about people coming into our services, getting the help that they need, and then going on to have a more fulfilling and better life, not just for themselves but for their family. And I have thoroughly enjoyed being here today. It really does have a great feel about this church here, and it's actually made me feel more motivated to find the right fit for myself and my family out in North Canterbury, about finding a church where we can come and be part, just like everyone is here. It's been a real blessing to come along today. So sorry I can't stay. Enjoy the rest of your celebrations, and I look forward to seeing you all again one day soon, I hope. Take care. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Megan. Thanks for that. Yeah, storytelling is fun. It's important. It's a chance for us to look back on where we've come from, and in the hopes of, carrying a hope into where we're going. So I want to keep an opportunity to share a little bit more. I don't want to keep everyone for too long, but I do want to. I don't want to rush this. I mean, this is a good chance for us to sort of hear some things. I have. I'll read these first, and then I'll open the floor to any visitors that may want to share a favorite memory or something of that sort. Okay. Well, this one's from Ron and Yvonne Lang, who I don't know, but they are from Napier, or they live in Napier. You know your twin sister. Ah, of course I do. Yvonne, yes, that's. Yes, and we have back and forth with them a bit. So this is from Lorraine's sister and her husband. Please pass on our congratulations and very best wishes to the congregation at LAUC as you celebrate 50 years of worshiping and serving together. We have fond memories of your welcoming congregation from our many visits over the years, but especially during the first year of the first year post-earthquakes. We recognize and thank you for the caring support which your congregation has always given to the community in which you are placed. Well done, good and faithful servants. May God bless you all as you continue to serve him together in Christian love. Ron and Yvonne. This is from Mavis Elms. I'm sorry I can't come today, but the weather is very bad out here with lots of flooding. We know about that a little bit. I hope everything goes well. Thank you for thinking of me, Mavis Elms. And would you please pass on our love to everyone? We have 2.5 crook people who were all hoping to be better this morning, but no go. We really wanted to come, catch up, and share the 50th celebration with you all. Love and hugs to our special friends from the Lows. Hi, Jonathan. I had a quick talk with, no, I don't read that part. That's from Lorraine. Hello, Lorraine and congregation at Linwood Avenue Union Church. I would like to come, but I feel too frail now. Thanks to everyone who has helped me when I could come. I wish you all every success in the future. God bless you. Enjoy the day. P.S. I'm very happy at Thornington. Roger Pugh. And a message from our friend Tracy. Thinking of you all in your 50th celebration, being a Union Church. Sorry I can't be there in person to share this significant milestone. I am certainly with you in spirit and miss you all. Enjoy sharing and reminiscing, and may God bless you all at Linwood Avenue Union Church in the next 50 years, and making many more happy memories, as well as success and blessing the Linwood community. Thinking of you all, Tracy Gord. Tracy, we remembered Tracy had a lot to do with our new banner here as well. Okay, those are those. I have a message from Norman. Norman Brooks was the minister, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the minister at Woolston Methodist Church at the time of the talks of the merge. My computer is not working now. Go figure.
bringing the local churches together.
Maybe.
Norman was very involved in the preparation, but the Methodist Church moved into another location just as we opened up for business.
Yeah, I'll have to read it like this. That's fine. I am delighted to have this opportunity to congratulate Linwood Avenue Union Parish for 50 years of worship and witness in Linwood, Woolston, and surrounding areas. For those of us who were there at the beginning, this is nothing short of a dream come true. It is indeed a time for thanksgiving to God for the vision, the leadership, and the people who have shared in the life of this congregation, not only at the beginning, but all through the years. I remember the early discussions that took place. I was the minister at Woolston Methodist Church on Ferry Road. Neil Van de Clay was the minister of the Presbyterian Church on the corner of Ferry and Aldwins Road. And while the minister of Morehouse Avenue Church of Christ represented the Linwood Avenue congregations. He doesn't give a name for that. Do we know who that was?
Bill Kerwood.
Bill Kerwood.
He lives in Kentucky, USA now.
Oh, yeah, okay. Good on him. All right. Yep. Bill Kerwood. All three ordained ministers took part in the discussions, as did key lay leaders from each congregation. As you will know, God moves in mysterious ways and often through events outside of control of the churches and congregations. In our case, this was the Christ Church City Council's proposed widening of Aldwins Road. The proposal required the removal of St. Peter's Presbyterian Church building. This meant that one of the three congregations needed to find a new home. At the same time, five of the churches in New Zealand were deeply involved with what was known as a plan for union. Many Anglicans, Congregationalists, Churches of Christ members, Methodists, and Presbyterians were hopeful that the discussions that had taken place over a number of years would lead to the formation of a united church in New Zealand. A spinoff from those discussions at the national level was that numerous people in local congregations caught the vision that all might be one and the world might believe. This led to the formation of well over 100 local union churches throughout the country. Our three churches were no exception. We were touched by the vision, and this undoubtedly was an added incentive for us to consider forming a local union church. One of the benefits to accrue from wider union discussions was the provision of templates. One such was a union parish agreement document that we could then work on and make it our own. As we did that work, we considered matters of doctrine and polity. Some examples: the Presbyterians had a session of elders. The Methodists had a leaders meeting with leaders. And the Church of Christ had their own form of local government. What was to become of these three? What would the merged leadership body be called? What rules would it operate under? Another issue was the Presbyterians were used to having Holy Communion on a quarterly basis, while the Methodists had communion monthly, and the Churches of Christ had communion every Sunday, and in their case, that was presided over by lay people. Given these differences, how was Holy Communion to be dealt with in a union parish? A further issue related to differences in the understanding of the status and role of the ordained and the laity. How would we overcome these differences and forge a new path together? The answer, of course, was with faith in God, by holding fast to the vision of unity, and by entering into the proposed merger with conviction and compassion, with Christ as our guiding light. Another issue we needed to address was the question of where the three congregations might meet. It was clear that the Presbyterian congregations needed a new church home, but the Methodists had one and the Church of Christ had one. Which of the latter would be the best base for the future? Or should we seek a completely new site? What did our mission strategy point to? In the end, it was agreed that the Church of Christ site and building were the best place for mission in the future. The Presbyterian and Methodist congregations agreed to move to the Linwood Avenue site. Another question was who would be appointed to minister with the new combined congregations. I was in my third year of my first stationed appointment. Back then, Methodist ministers normally moved on following a 3-year probationary appointment. Neil, on the other hand, was well into his ministry, while the Church of Christ congregation was cared for by the ordained minister from Morehouse Avenue, Bill Kerwood. Ultimately, it was decided that Neil should provide the initial period of ordained ministry at what came to be called Southeast Christchurch Union Parish and is now Linwood Avenue Union Church. Who were the Woolston Methodists who joined this new congregation? I certainly can't name them all, though some names readily come to mind. Jack and Vera McGeegan, Wes and Molly McHarg, Lawrence and Chrissy Newton, Mrs. Newton Sr., Ray and Dorothy Jones, Ken and Elvie Driver, Dorothy Taylor, Betty Rood, third one, along with members of the Malpass, Han, Meakin, and other families. Hopefully all the names are correct. It was these, amongst others, who joined with the saints from the other two congregations to form Southeast Christchurch Union Parish in 1972. It's their faith, their commitment, their history that is celebrated today. Looking forward, my hope is that Linwood Avenue Union Parish will continue to flourish, both as a place where people come to worship God and as a center of mission, outreach, and service to and with the wider community. May the light and love of Jesus Christ guide you into the future. Reverend Norman E. Brooks. Thank you, Norman. Just something also from Chris and Mary Ambrose. We are sad that what a great occasion your celebration will be. We are sad we can't share it with the folk at Linwood Avenue. Please give our greetings and pass on our love and congratulations to everyone there. May God bless you and keep you all. We hope to see you when we come over in December. We appreciate seeing you online and look forward to being there in the flesh. Happy birthday, LAUC. Thanks. Life was different before the earthquake. We had many great memories of our time at Linwood Ave, and we are sorry to miss the party today. We remember the youth group coming to our place to eat on Sunday evenings and wonder where those fine young people are today. Also, the huge amount of work some folk put into our church fairs. I can guess a couple of those names. And the church and youth camps as well. But also we give thanks for the love shown to us, mere Aussies, by the gracious folk you have there. The work of the trust and the people committed to it enables sharing the love of God with the community in a very special way. She also sent me a picture of some Pahutakawa earrings. She said, these Pahutakawa earrings were given to me by the youth group when we left, so I think of them whenever I see these earrings. Chris also remembers well shoveling off snow in the valley of the hall roof to prevent it from melting and running down inside the walls. Love, Chris and Mary. I think that's everything I have. Did you have something? Where's Ann? Did you have something from Iona?
Iona texted to wish us a very happy birthday and 50 years. She's in Southeast Asia as a
Yeah. For those who might not know, we have an overseas missionary, and her work is somewhat confidential. And she just sent a note saying happy birthday and congratulations, and that's really nice as well. Jan Ray was her mother. Yeah. Okay. Any other guests, visitors that we have that want to share anything special, a memory, a time, another word of encouragement? Janice? Yeah, come on up. We need to be able to hear you. Thanks.
Kia ora, everyone. I'm Janice Gemmell. I was a Gribben when I used to come here many years ago. Young then, not quite so young now. But look, I am really up here to just say how fantastic it's been today, and it's been really lovely to see people and to have lunch. And I just wanted to say we were really hoping to get Mum here, Nona Gribben, she's 97 now, and she's still living in her house, but we do have to have a lot of support for her, and The cold weather, the wet, and mornings are never her best times, especially in winter. So she's not here, but maybe when it warms up a bit, we'll be able to get her along for something, especially if there's something in the afternoon. But she just wanted to say, fantastic, and she remembers it well. Yeah, well, I have to be honest, her short-term memory is not like it was, but when we talked it through, she does remember we were all at St. Peter's. That was, the Mandaclays and the church with the move, huge amount of effort, just a huge amount of effort. And I look back thinking, we've had 2 kids, but they had 6 kids, and so many of you here, kids, huge efforts into church, all the effort into the fairs. I know Dad was on step-toe, Mum was always baking, doing things. It's incredible, really, the effort in community. And I think it's awesome. But anyway, Mum did want to be here, and I wanted to pass it on that, it's a shame she isn't, but we're still hopeful. We're hoping she'll get to that 100, but who knows. But she is frail, and it's definitely one day at a time. But she did want to say hello to everybody. Okay.
Anyone else? Yeah, Martin, good.
Martin van der Clay, for those of you who don't know me. As much as anything, I'd just like to say thank you to some of the old timers who have always supported our family very well. We have very fond memories of our time here. People were always lovely and kind to Marty and supported us back then. Lots of good memories. Walter and I sort of put that bell up when it first went in that corner. I remember Ray Jones and Walter doing a lot of the sealing. Walter was training, or was a builder then. Dot and I got married in front of the railing, which we actually have some of those railings from the Methodist Church in our garden at home. Because when they were demolishing the building, they were just going to throw them away. Ray Jones played Ode to Joy as we left the church, and we were told that we were almost running out the door. So lots of good memories and lots of good friends here, and thank you very much.
For those of you who may not have been here when this happened or missed the memo, this when Ray Jones passed away, we were gifted some money and on a bequest, and we bought this nice new electric piano, and we've dedicated it to Ray. So there's a little plaque here on the sides dedicated to Ray. Those of you who've known him, who knew him, will appreciate that as well. Anything else, new or old memories? Anyone wants to share? I can tell you, yes. Martin alluded to the bell. The bell came from St. Peter's Presbyterian Church. This railing came from the Wilson Methodist Church. Yeah. This pulpit came from, as Lindsay told us this morning, came from Linwood Avenue Church of Christ. Yes. Where was the bench from? Anyone? Morehouse Ave. Yeah, that was Morehouse Ave. The font. The chairs. Where is Woolston Methodist? Linwood Avenue. Yeah. Do we know?
The middle one, I think, is Presbyterian.
Oh yeah, it looks Presbyterian.
We've lost our denomination. We've lost our denominational attachment to the church.
Yeah. Does anyone know where the font came from? How?
It wouldn't be from the Church of Christ.
Yeah. Well, I think it is nice. It is special that we incorporate these things. That they are still part of our, they're part of our furniture. You know, they're part of our everyday life here. I don't know how. Do you know how? Oh, right. You come tell the story. That's what storytelling is all about. I don't know all the stories.
Sorry, Martin, we should have told you. When we had the building renovated, there's a false wall in there. That wall isn't the end wall. There's a storeroom behind it. And it would have been hidden in the corner of the storeroom and no one would have seen it. So we bought it out.
So Dorothy just told me that the font is from the Methodist Church, and so is the rail, and apparently they were made by her grandfather.
Are you coming up here? Excellent. Dorothy Swain, everybody. I'm just kidding. Come on, Jan. There we go.
Completely unprepared for this. Two things that punctuated my teenage years: the Vietnam War on TV every night, and all the meetings for going into union. Dad was part of the committee. It sounds really great now, but at times it was pretty hard. I think he was sometimes a bit disappointed in some Presbyterians, but we had great fellowship once we joined with everybody, which was great. A couple of memories I have. When Ferg and I got married, we approached the organist, who we all know who it was, Ray Jones, and we had some traditional hymns, but we wanted Let It Be played, which is by the Beatles. He wasn't very sure about that, but he decided yes he would, so he had to practice it for a bit. So when we were signing the register, Let It Be was playing, and then it wandered off into Ode to Joy. So there was something in that. And it's great to see our peers here. There's a few teenagers here who aren't teenagers anymore. But the Vanderclay boys, of course, and Gary and Janice and Margaret, and Raywin up the back there, and Carol, of course. So we're all here. Some of us are well in our 60s now.
Thanks, Jan. Last chance. Great, come on. Come up here where we can hear you. Yeah.
But I'd really like to thank all the people that know who I am and know where I've been
Hang on. Come up. Yeah, use this.
over the last 40 years, when my husband and I came into this area with two tiny preschool children, and after that we fostered many children, dozens, probably hundreds. But and my association with this church goes back pretty much certainly 25, 30 years. And a lot of those foster children came here to Boys Brigade, Girls Brigade, youth group, children's programs, and the camps. Oh, what a relief it was for us, because some of the children we had were pretty hard going. And when they went to the camps run by, you know who the people were that were running the camps, and many children out there will remember the Union Church because of the association they had with it. And I was just sort of sitting thinking, where else is there a church where three congregations came together and formed this Union Church? Certainly the church I belong to would never contemplate joining with other denominations. So, I'm just thankful to God for this church and this congregation, because I've only lived down the road over all these years pretty much, and you've been an absolute marvellous help and support to many of the children that stayed with me over the years. And I just want to know that you've really been appreciated and done a wonderful job in this community of Linwood. Thanks very much.
Just say something, if I can. Sorry, Gary, I didn't see. I wasn't here when we came. The Union Church was already formed when my husband and I came to Linwood and came here. And so we came into an organisation that was already up and running.
from one of the denominations to the combination of three. And we just found it was such a blessing. Each of the three denominations had traditions, and we suddenly benefited from all the traditions, not just the one, but we got the benefit of the tradition of the other churches, which was wonderful because it was a broadening and a widening. And one thing that really struck me, there was a very elderly Church of Christ member by the name of, I won't say the name, doesn't matter, but he said to me one time when we were talking, it's Royden O'Leary, he said to me, all my adult life I have been taking communion every Sunday. Because of course, for those of you who don't know, the Church of Christ had communion every week. The Methodist had it once a month, as was mentioned, and the Presbyterians had it once a quarter. The Methodists came up the front and knelt down, and the Presbyterian and Church of Christ had it served in their seats. And he said, all my adult life I have taken communion every Sunday, and he said it wasn't till I knelt down at the altar rail to take communion for the first time, he said, I realised just how much I had missed. He was used to having it and having it in a seat. So just the different traditions strengthened all of us. And it's been a blessing for me to be part of it.
Hi everyone. What a beautiful day it's been. But one of the memories I have of this church, because I've been away for a while and I've come back at different times, was there was an old guy called, and he had a wife, Ted Minery, and Errol Calder. And Errol died some time ago, but his wife died only a few weeks ago. And so I had to get up because I felt that they were worth talking about. They were very wise men. So God provided this church with some very wise people over the years. We just got to thank him for that. Thank you.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit and heard a lot of stuff. And, you know, this is just, I mean, this is like a big one, but this is one of the celebrations that we have hoped for throughout this year. We hope to have another one or two, hopefully, before next February. But and just really, really live up, you know, really enjoy the 50 years. I don't know if you've noticed up here, Blake's had this running. These are a bunch of reflections that Lindsay put together some time ago. We've failed to really put them together on a consistent basis, but they've been running through. If you've been able to look through them, we might keep plastering them over the coming weeks and stuff. They're in this book, right, which I'm going to show you, yes. So if you didn't get one of these, they were laid out on the tables. You're welcome to grab one. Yeah, you can grab one on the way out if you didn't get one off the tables. And did you want to say something, Faye? Please ring the bell.
Ring the bell for all the Presbyterians.
Yeah, on the way out, feel free to ring the bell. I'll just say I did write something that I thought was kind of good. As we celebrate today our 50 years of our past, today also marks the beginning of the next 50 years, and hopefully then some. So we look behind us to help inform where we're going. Like the Māori Whakatoki proverb says, ka mua ka muri. We walk forward looking backward, suggesting that the only thing that is clear is our past, though sometimes it's muddled and not so clear. Another reason to continuously always be telling our story and not forget it. But in other words, as we embark on the next 50 years as a church, we take our past with us And the future eventually becomes part of that past as well. The past is always with us. So let us close today. I'll say a prayer, but let us close today really thinking about, all that we've heard, all that you've experienced over the years, and the partnerships that we have. Let's strengthen those. Let's continue to work on those. Let's make some new partnerships. Let's see what the future holds. Let's be open to what God is doing with us as a church, because hearing these stories, God was moving in those times. Where's God moving now? Not that we're not doing things, but where is God moving? Where is God taking us? And there's a lot to look forward to, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I hope you are too. Let me pray. Gracious and loving God, thank you for today. Thank you for this church family and its extended whānau, our friends, the fellowship that we have between us that binds us all together through the years, through the history, through the memories that we share together, the love that binds us together in Christ Jesus. God, be with us, be with our friends, be with us as we leave this place today, and be with us as we remain entrenched here in this community and open to where you want to lead us. And help us to listen well. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So, Jean.
I'd like to announce appreciation for all the work that's been done to organise this event. And also, I would like to say thank you to the person who did the marvellous arrangements of the flowers throughout the building. They've done a marvellous job, and I don't know who.
Thanks, Jean. Jean's saying thank you, appreciation to all the effort put into today, and especially to Jan Harding, who helped all the arrangement of all the flowers and all the rooms. There was a fantastic amount of help put in from Wednesday afternoon through Thursday, Friday, and yesterday. People spending time and setting everything up, and then today as well. On the fly, we had to do a lot of stuff. So I agree. Thank you, Jean. Thank you to everybody. And to everyone too for getting the word out. And there were people that I wouldn't have known to even reach out to. So to have this turnout today is amazing. Ferg.
Probably got the most knowledge of anybody here. I was too young to be on that committee, even though I didn't know that. Even though you look older than me. Yeah. Probably might have gone anyway. But Lindsay is the person here who has the greatest history in this place, even though he's had a couple of gaps of swanning around America for a while. But Lindsay, thank you very much. Thank you.
And I'll just check to see if our caterer is still here. Everybody, let's give a big shout of appreciation so he can hear us in the back. Thank you, Nelson. It was really nice to have it catered and taken care of so we could all just enjoy each other's company today. So.
I used to teach him in the third form.
All right, I'm done. You guys can go. Thank you for being here. Yeah, the bell's there. One last thing, if people are able to help us stick around and help us clear tables and stuff, that would be cool too.